All right, let's roll out to Jim Jackson's crib.
Hello.
Talk some NBA.
Hello.
All right, Jimbo. David Falk, the former and I would imagine still current agent for Michael Jordan, had some interesting comments about Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen's relationship. David Falk seen, I think, all the episodes of The Last Dance documentary on ESPN, and says as the series goes on, we're going to see that Scottie Pippen wasn't a great competitor and has some jealousy issues with Michael Jordan. Marcellus, get us rolling here. You believe Falk here that Scottie Pippen is perhaps motivated by jealousy as it relates to Michael Jordan?
No, I don't believe he's jealous of Michael Jordan. I think that's too strong. There's a psych term where they say that you're not jealous, but you're under the influence of unfairness. And what under the influence of unfairness is? Someone who is close in proximity to the reality of the situation, knows it for what it is, but doesn't get his proper due, proper credit. And that's who Scottie Pippen is. He never got his proper due. Even this documentary is called Jordan and the Bulls. But Jordan didn't do anything without Scottie Pippen. And Scottie Pippen's like a fully mature version of me, is how we were able to do all of this. You add Phil Jackson into the conversation because Phil Jackson was the one that told Michael Jordan, less of you and more of your teammates, more of Scottie Pippen is going to be greater success for us all. And Scottie knows that, and Michael knows that as well. But it's funny, this documentary was signed off by Michael Jordan, and now we're hearing from Michael Jordan's agent. Of course, everything's going to lean and be slanted towards Michael Jordan looking more favorite and better favored than Scottie Pippen. But the reality is Scottie Pippen has a hell of a case of how his name should be actually accented and higher up in terms of regard. But it seems like no one cares about that.
You know, Marcellus, I'm going to say this. I don't think we can break it simply down into jealousy from that perspective. I think it's three different categories, and jealousy is one of them, not so much for maybe Michael Jordan, but maybe the situation that he's been put in a lot of times. So let's just take, for example, the 93-94 season after Michael Jordan had retired. The previous year, they won 57 games championship. That year, with Michael gone, they won 55 games. Pippen averaged 22 points. They lost in the second round to the Knicks in the 7-game series. But he really didn't get the love that he thought he deserved during that time, even winning 2 less games without having Michael Jordan. But again, you didn't win a championship. I think envious is also a word that can be in there. And that's not an evil thing because of the situation in which Scottie has grown up in the Bulls. He still didn't get the adoration. It was always like he was the sidekick, which he was, and I'll take that any day of the week, but to Michael Jordan. And also there's ego. Okay, as an athlete, ego drives the momentum and pushes the force forward in order for you to obtain the goals that you need to obtain. Now, how you control that ego, to me, is very important. It was an interview he did, and Stan Smith, the great journalist there in Chicago, talked about this and said that Scottie said, most people have wanted me on their team because Michael Jordan, because he can do more things than Michael Jordan. That's the ego talking right there. So if you look at the whole landscape of it, when he talked about LeBron, he is a better overall player, Michael is a better scorer, it's not just one thing that I think that kind of eats at Pippen. It's a number of different things that why we see some conflict there with the guy that you would figure that played with Michael Jordan would have his back completely, but sometimes he'll just voice his opinion, which comes off differential.
You know what? Let's stay with this topic a little bit longer. I want to marinate because Jim said some interesting things that I want to follow up on. Listen, jealousy, envy, none of those things have to be over the top negative. So if you can control them, and I say this somewhat jokingly, but somewhat seriously. I'll be sitting in Wally's. Jim Jackson walks in. I'm jealous. He gets a different reaction from the hostesses than I do. I still celebrate Jim Jackson. I don't do anything negative. I don't throw any salt. I don't try to undermine Jim Jackson. I'll even make a more serious point. Bill Simmons works in my industry, terrific sports writer, has had some tremendous success and gotten some opportunities where I'm like, damn, I'm jealous. I wish I had gotten that opportunity. I'm not trying to undermine this man. I've always celebrated the fact my favorite sports columnist, love reading his columns. The things that I believe are true about Bill Simmons, I've always said, even though in some regards I've been jealous of some opportunities and some success he's had. It doesn't always have to be a negative. And so Scottie Pippen, to me, had every right to be a little bit jealous of Michael Jordan. Plays at North Carolina for the legendary Dean Smith. Comes in as the number 3 pick in the draft, the golden boy of the NBA. The league did lean in. David Stern, the entire league, leaned into building up Michael Jordan as this superstar. I wouldn't have a problem with Scottie Pippen if he was slightly jealous of Michael Jordan, and that doesn't make Scottie a bad guy as long as he didn't do anything to undermine Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I've been there at Wally's when you and Jim has been there, and you've shown your jealousy in different ways. Soon as somebody walks by that you are interested in, Whitlock, you are Speedy Gonzalez, because you know if she sees Jimmy, it's a problem. So that's how your jealousy comes out. It's not negative, but it shows his head. Here's the thing. There's only one thing that Scottie Pippen is guilty of: being a teammate of the greatest player ever. And I don't think that made him jealous. He just said, fine, you can take a little less of me because I know how great he is, and I'm going to let him be the 1A. I'll be the 1B. Just remember, we're both ones. And I think what's happened is they're not regarded as this great dynamic duo as they should be. Yeah, we say Scottie Pippen's name a lot, but it's always in conjunction with Michael Jordan, or it's just Michael Jordan's name. And if you want to say how that lands emotionally with Scottie Pippen, it's just simply him saying, y'all know y'all did nothing without me. So when we have this documentary, Jordan and the Bulls, instead of Jordan, Pippen and the Bulls, like, to lump Scottie with the rest is unfair, guys. We know that Scottie Pippen was an amazing two-way player. Michael Jordan even said, when I saw Scottie guard Magic in the finals, I knew it was over because I know what Scottie is every day. And I used to run into that in the NFL all the time. People used to say, who's the toughest guy you faced against? I was like, the one that is on my team. When I had to play against Larry Allen, that's once a year. When I was his teammate, that was every damn day of hell. And I'm telling you, if we can really get a lie detector test out of here, Michael Jordan and Pippen will give each other much more love than it seems like the general public does.
Yeah, you know, Marcellus, that's a great point, too. But the difference, too, I think, with Michael and Scottie and that duo, Michael was such an iconic person, player, personality, that the separation between the two was always going to be there. Take Shaq and Kobe. The difference between the two wasn't a lot in regards to who was the most important. You can debate it, but it wasn't a clear separation as much as it is with Michael and Scottie, just because of this, the aura in which Michael, I think, personified, gives that a whole different impression. And to Jason, to your point, I'm envious. Look, my draft class in 1992, the top 4 picks is 2 Hall of Famers in that class. Shaquille O'Neal, maybe the most dominant center ever to play the game, and then Alonzo Mourning. My 3rd year, I'm outscoring those guys, okay? My injury happens. My career takes a whole different toll. Different situation. They going to be Hall of Fame players, win championships. I'm the guy that played on 12 teams. I'm not jealous of them. They're still my great friends. But I'm envious and always think about, well, damn, what would have happened if I never got hurt? Could I be in those situations? To your point, it's not a I'm mad at you thing. It's not that I want this, bad thing to happen or you shouldn't have done it. It should have been me. It's just, dang, man, what could have happened if I never got injured and was in that same situation? Could I have achieved the goals that I wanted? So I'm with you on that part. It doesn't have to be malicious.
Thank you, Iceberg. That's Iceberg Jim Jackson. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.